What's going on, everyone? Happy Sunday to everyone. Hopefully, everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. If you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long COVID issues. It is time now for the weekly wastewater update for COVID and all of the other viruses. This week being Sunday, October 22nd, 2023. Let's start off with the national CDC level. I'm going to move myself over to the left here so that way you can see these levels here. New sites this week. There's 198 new sites. And then that's in the white colors. And then the dark blue, 0 to 19%. There are 70 of them. That's really low levels of COVID. 20 to 39% COVID detected is 265 sites. 40 to 59% COVID detected, there's 351. 60 to 79%, that's in the orange. That's starting to get high. That's at 231 sites. And 80 to 100% COVID detected, that's at 72 sites. There is a disclaimer I should say for this week. There's a lot of sites in the gray. Gray means sites have not reported. Here also, notice we did just say 198 new sites. It's not actually true. Some of these sites that are coming up white and new, like for example, let's just zoom into Ohio. Look at this. I mean, they're not new. Most of them have been there. Maybe there's one there that's new, but the majority of them have been there. Why they're coming up in the white, I honestly do not know. I thought this week, why don't we start off on the West Coast? Starting with the state of Washington. And we're going to bounce back between the CDC website and wastewater scan. And I do have some good news about Washington. That good news is that there is now a site in Washington on the wastewater scan website. Snohomish, Washington. Hopefully I am saying that correctly. Snohomish, Washington is now on the wastewater scan site. As you can see here, it just started here. So it's low for COVID right now. Influenza, RSV, HMPV, Mpox, and norovirus. But this is just the first update. Going on down the line, we will follow along as this updates. So good to see that Snohomish, Washington. Finally, there's the Washington site. I wish we would get one in Oregon. We don't have one in Oregon on here. We'll come back to this site in just a moment. What we do want to do is take a look at Oregon on the CDC website, and honestly, we can't tell you much about Oregon because there's a lot of grayed out sites here. But we can tell you about some of these sites. This one, which is 92,000 population, it is dropping at this time. Here's another, Lane County, which is 235,000 population. That's dropping at this time. We can also take a look at Washington County, Oregon. That's dropping at this time. And let's go back to the state of Washington. Pierce, 295,000 population. And that's in the blue, but it's dropping at this time, so that's good. And here's another one, Thurston, or Thruston. Hope I'm saying that correctly, too. That one is dropping as well. Island, Washington. This one's not. It is rising at this time. Idaho, while we're at it. Latah, Idaho, 24,000 population. You're in the orange, moderate, but it is dropping at this time. And the rest of Idaho is not doing terrible. There is some orange, but again here, this one's in the light color of blue. Ada, that is dropping at this time. Canyon, not good. You're in the orange, and yet again this week, it shows that you are rising. Bangkok, also 75,000 population, orange, but rapidly rising. We might see you shift over to the red soon. All right, California, you know the deal. For California, we have to go over to the wastewater scan site because most of those sites do not update frequently on the CDC page. So we're just going to do a few sites in California. Let's do San Diego. San Diego at this time, you can see here, they've changed the coloring of this website. The lines are now in purple. San Diego is actually starting to rise ever so slightly again. It's medium for COVID. Influenza is back to low again. RSV is now in the high category. Overall trajectory is high. It's not at where it has peaked so far this season, but the overall trend since the late August is upward for RSV. HMPV is low at this time. Mpox, not detected, and norovirus is high, and wow. Norovirus is rapidly rising, and some of these other viruses are a concern as well. Taking a look now, let's go down to LA, because we noted in the most recent update that we did for LA, we noted that there was a rise in the positivity rates. Let's see if that's continuing in Los Angeles's wastewater. And yes, on the most recent update for wastewater, it's starting to rise again. Which site is this? This one is 3.5 million population. So we can see COVID, it's starting to go up again. Influenza low, RSV low, HMPV's low, no detected Mpox cases, and wow, norovirus is starting to rapidly rise. So that's not something we like to see. Let's do one more site. Let's go out to the western one and see what's going on there. Is COVID starting to rise there? Not yet. It's dropping. The most recent update was flat. Low there. Low influenza, low RSV, low HMPV, no Mpox detected, and no norovirus. Alrighty, let's go back to the CDC website now, and let's take a look at a site in Nevada. We can do one right here, Clark County, Nevada. So that hasn't updated. So yet again, we have to go back to the wastewater scan site. I think it's on, yes, Las Vegas, which is Clark County, Nevada, I believe. And let's see here. Yep, Clark County. Medium levels of COVID. And you're seeing a lot of up, down, up, down. So there is no overall trend upward or downward at this point. Influenza's low. RSV, not an issue. No Mpox, no HMPV. And norovirus, wow. Norovirus, after a big rise there, is starting to drop rather quickly. Now, going back to the CDC website, can we show you anything for Arizona? Yuma County, Arizona, right near the border of Mexico. 8,200 population is moderate but dropping at this time. Let's go over to Utah. Grand San Juan, 9,800 population, red and rapidly rising at this time. Coming over to Colorado now. Let's see what's going on there. Douglas County, Colorado is in the orange. Flat at this time. Hasn't really updated. We could probably show you that on the wastewater scan. We'll go back to that site for a few more sites later in this update. Now let's go down to Texas. What's going on there? Dallas is flat at this time. And let's go down to Montgomery, Texas. Also flat this time. It is in the orange. And you can see here, Montgomery, we're not really seeing a rise in Texas yet. However, what we are seeing is they're still dropping. They're just not dropping as much now. On the most recent update, it slowed down significantly. Now, 2 weeks or a few weeks ago, we saw it happen. Then the following week, they had a big drop. Now it's slowed again. We'll have to watch because there are some states that are starting to rise again. Ohio being one of them, but unfortunately, we can't show you much about Ohio today. As you saw, a lot of those sites are coming up as new sites. Let's come up here to Nebraska. Here in Nebraska, look at this. It's in the red in Hall County, 52,000. We were watching last week. It was just starting to rise. It's continuing. It's rapidly rising now, and they're already at high levels. Lancaster County, Nebraska. So yeah, Nebraska is really a good example. Here's another site, very small one, but again, it's rapidly rising, and it's backed by several. Douglas, Spray. Wow, look at all these sites that are just rising in Nebraska. What is going on in Nebraska? I don't know what your dominating variant is. If we went over to the variant data, there's a lot of regions that don't update. I would be very cautious and watch for potential new variant because rises like this scream something's going on there and causing a rapid rise. How about these sites that are low? What's going on with them? Let's see here. Wow, here's one. Plate near North Plate, Nebraska. I guess this is near York, Nebraska. Yeah, there's something's going on in Nebraska. It requires some investigation. If anyone knows about maybe BA 2.86, JN.1, I think is out there now. If anyone knows what's going on in Nebraska, I would love to know. Fill me in down below concerning rapid rises there. Has this spilled over to Missouri? Well, here's a site that's in the red and rising. Livingston is in the red but rising. How about St. Louis? St. Louis is in the red and rising. In fact, that site we just looked at, smaller one, it never actually dropped from the summer wave. Some of these are dropping, but yeah, we're seeing some concerning things out in the plains and the Midwest. Henry was rising. Now we're going back closer to Nebraska again. Jasper, these are dropping at this time. How about Iowa? Yeah, Iowa doesn't update all that frequently. Now, can't get a good picture of Iowa. How about Minnesota? What's going on there? Minnesota is not doing terrible at this time. There's a couple red sites, but they're flat at this time. Here's one that was rising, started to drop. Scott, it's starting to rise again, so that's not good to see. Here's another one. What's going on here with Blue Earth? Nicolet, doesn't update frequently enough. Wisconsin does on some of them. And we can see there is a red site in Wisconsin, Grant. Wow, this one's rising. So yeah, some very mixed picture around the country right now that we're seeing so far in this update, with Nebraska being the most concerning so far. And unfortunately, I can't show you. Wow, look at this. All right, Illinois, what's going on here? This might also become concerning. Cook, smaller population, but it is dropping at this time. Here's the bigger population dropping. This site doesn't update all that often. It's really weird and wonky. Here's one, another Cook. Again, does not update all that often. Kendall. Wow, this Kendall site is rapidly rising. Dubois is moderate but dropping at this time. That rapidly rising site, we have to watch that. That may go into the high category next week. Christian, moderate but dropping at this time. And what's going on with this one? Vermillion? Yeah, that one is moderate and rising at this time. Indiana, we have to check here because Indiana was rising with the positivity at Walgreens. And you can see here, Western Indiana, the first site that we looked at, not a very big site. Well, 60,000 is decent size. It is starting to rise. Indianapolis doesn't really update that much. We have to go over to the wastewater scan site for this, I believe. Let's see. I believe that Hamilton site is on at this time. We have to refresh the map. And what that should show is that I don't think it's rising there yet. Let's see what's happening there in Indianapolis area. Here we go. Here we are right around Carmel, Indiana. Let's see what's going on there. You can see COVID, it's medium, but dropping at this time. RSV, overall trajectory with RSV is up at this time. HMPV is not an issue. Mpox is not an issue. Norovirus, overall trajectory, it is upward, and it's already high. It's trying to drop a little bit. It would be nice if it did, because that's not good for that area. Let's do one more here on the wastewater scan site. Down near Bloomington, and let's see what's going on there. Low levels of COVID, though perhaps maybe it's going to start going up again. Influenza's low. RSV is starting to rise again. That's not good. HMPV, not an issue. No Mpox. And norovirus for you is low. So if that's where you live, you're not doing all that bad. Ohio, there's only a couple sites that we can show you. Again, we have to go back to the wastewater surveillance website for Ohio. Taking a look at Ohio, we can show you Northeast Ohio. Fortunately, the other sites did not update. We'll have to click on those new sites, see if it actually registers anything. Here's one. Akron, Ohio, starting to rise again. RSV is low, HMPV low, influenza low, no Mpox, and no norovirus. I believe it was Akron, or one of these sites, maybe it was Youngstown. Back in the early summer, there was the detection of an Mpox case. COVID is medium at this time and slightly starting to rise again. Influenza low, RSV is low, HMPV low, no Mpox now. Norovirus, it's starting to go upward a little bit yet again. And now let's go back to the wastewater scan site. Let's see, can we click on any of these sites? No, they're all coming up as new for some reason. Like Fayette, it's saying new, but hey, it is going rapidly upward. Wow, licking upward. And we do know Franklin is going down. Let's just randomly click here. Wow, yes. Some of these sites, this one's going down. How about Lake? That's like up near, or Lucas, I should say, Lucas County. That's up near Toledo, and that one is dropping at this time. Alrighty, continuing on. Let's continue back south. Let's go back down to Florida and get Florida out of the way. And you can see we're going to have to use wastewater scan website for Florida. We will do 2 wastewater scans. We have not looked at Miami in a while. I want to know what's going on there. Here we go. South Miami. And we can see South Miami at this time is dropping for COVID. Influenza is rising a little bit. High levels of RSV, though it dropped, it's starting to rise again. HMPV not an issue. Mpox not an issue. Norovirus, norovirus is high and starting to rise even higher. Let's go up to the Orlando area and see what is going on there. In Orlando, let's go closer to Disney World at this time. I believe Southwest Orange, that may be Disney World, and it is dropping at this time. 50,000 population. For COVID, it's dropping, but moderate low. Influenza low. RSV, no HMPV. There was an Mpox detection there back in September. And norovirus is high and continuing to rise at this time. So that is not a good thing to see. And the wastewater scan site has now frozen up on us. It tends to do that for some reason. I'll never understand why. Let's take a look at Georgia. Cobb. Cobb is dropping at this time. Now taking a look at Gwinnett County, Georgia. This is Georgia now. 650,000 population at this site. Low and dropping at this time. Wow. So not too bad in some of these areas right now. Let's move over to South Carolina. South Carolina, Beaufort is rapidly rising. And oh boy, look at North Carolina. I'm seeing quite a bit of red here. Now, while these areas are not doing all that bad, Lincoln, why they are dropping, being in the red is not a good thing. It means that there is high spread of COVID at this time. Orange is not too good either. Wake County dropping. Here's another Wake County that's rising. And how about what's going on in the Greensboro area? And here we go. Davison, yeah, Greensboro area. Guilford, it's low to near moderate at this time. Dropping, but I have to wonder, is that going to flip soon as well? We'll see. The South in the winter wave is usually later to get to the rising point once again. DC, what's going on there? District of Columbia, moderate, but dropping at this time. Another DC site, wastewater site, is, let's see here. This one's rising. The other one was dropping. This one's starting to, wow. Now, this is a big site. 1.8 million population. And it is starting to rise. Why is this important? Well, let me tell you why. Because if you've been following the political scene lately, all of the people in Congress, all of our lovely Congress people that I'm not gonna go any more detail on that, but let's just say they're all voting trying to get a new speaker. Oh, I will say it. The Republicans are just stalling around. The Democrats know who they want, but the Republicans are just wasting their time. The point I'm trying to make is they're all meeting together, and some of them will meet up for dinner afterwards to talk about, well, maybe we should try and convince you to vote for this person. You get what I'm trying to say. Wastewater's rising here. They're all meeting together. Yes, we'll have to pay attention to see if any Congress people, or Senate for that matter, test positive, and general people. I mean, 1.8 million population there, and it's starting to rise. Back in Virginia, Frederick, Virginia, 16,563 population, and rising at this time, or excuse me, dropping at this time, not rising. You're in the red at this time. That's what I meant to say. You're in the red, so it's rapidly dropping, but you're still in the red. Hopefully by next week, when we take a look at you, you'll be in the orange. Take a look at Mercer County, Pennsylvania, 16,000 population, and dropping at this time. Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, you're dropping at this time. This is southeast Pennsylvania. And overall, I can confirm with this. Philadelphia County EMS calls, we're not doing a pandemic update, but it was under 700 today. That's a really good thing. Take a look here at Center County, Pennsylvania, and we can see the levels, they were dropping. Now they're flat again. Why are they flat again? Because, well, Penn State last week had a home game. So maybe that's going to cause it to go back up again. We'll see. It is 1 week out. New Jersey, I wanted to show you some of the other viruses in New Jersey, but as you saw, the wastewater scan site, it just crashed on us. Let's try again. Nope, we are stuck frozen now, unfortunately. So taking a look at Morris County, New Jersey. This site is in the red, and it is rising at this time. And the good part is the majority of the sites that we're going to look at, aside from Boston, which we know Boston is at high levels right now. Aside from Boston, the majority of these sites do update on the regular. Wow, Atlantic County, New Jersey, you are starting to rapidly rise. That is not something I like to see. And look at this. We have 2 new sites down here. If we could just get these shore points on for next summer. Delaware, Sussex County, Delaware, small population, rising at this time. Newcastle County, Delaware is dropping at this time. That's good to see. Hudson County, New Jersey, dropping at this time. Long Island, New York, Nassau County, yikes, starting to rise again. Can't show you New York City. That is one that is in the gray. Let's click on it. Maybe the gray is now. Now, they haven't updated in a while, and it's not on wastewater scan either, so that wouldn't do us any good. But the rest of New York State, we're not going to click on all these. We'll click on some. There is a lot of red here. I don't care whether it's dropping or rising, although here's Erie County, New York. That's rapidly rising. It doesn't matter. If you are in any of these red areas throughout New York, Syracuse, Rochester, Albany, please use caution. Saratoga, New York, for example, it's dropping, but they're still in the red. I mean, they had a long rising period. Now let's come up here and see what's going on in Chitterton, Vermont. That's Burlington area. Moderate at this time. Actually, that's in the red. The other site there is a moderate one there. Let's see what that's doing. That one at this time, it is flat at this time. Taking a look over in New Hampshire now. Not doing too bad in Grafton, New Hampshire. It is in the red, but this one is dropping a little bit more pronounced. Sullivan County, New Hampshire, you're not dropping. You're moderate and in the red. If you continue at that rate, not good. Cumberland County, Maine is in the moderate at this time. York County, Maine is in the red at this time. Worcester, Massachusetts is in the moderate at this time. And again, this one doesn't update. And Boston, that also doesn't update. You're still in moderate to high levels at this stage. I mean, 2.4 million population. Eventually, your winter wave is going to set in. And I think next week, when we do the wastewater update, we're going to see more places report the winter wave setting in. There are a couple places we missed in the Midwest. Boone, Arkansas, 15,000 population, rising ever so slightly. Then we have to come down here to Kentucky. Can't do much for Kentucky, but Jefferson County, Kentucky, 423,000 population, and that is flat at this time, and it is in the low levels. And we also forgot to do Alabama. We can see Alabama not doing bad at this time. Low to near moderate. Again, the South is going to be a little bit later in your winter wave setting in. I think as we head towards mid-November, that's when the South will start rising, but we'll have to see what happens. Can't do much with Louisiana. Again, gray sites. Sorry, if you live in Louisiana, I apologize. There's not much I can show for you. And I think we did miss Michigan, didn't we? We'll see. Can't do much with Detroit, but we can take a look at this. Whoa. Eaton, Michigan. 32,000 population and rapidly rising. See, we do have some other orange sites, and they are dropping at this time. I think. Yep. Not doing too bad. Can we do anything with Detroit? There is one site here that is blue. Let's see here. Oakland, Wayne, 840,000 population. That's a big wastewater site. Dropping at this time. Malcolm County, excuse me. 140,000 population. That is dropping at this time. Here's another site. Kalamazoo is slightly starting to rise at this time. And we'll end today over by Lake Michigan and see what's going on there. Mason, 8,100 population and dropping at this time. Alrighty, folks, that does for this week's wastewater update. I tried to keep it to 20 minutes, but we've gone over. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. If you know anyone that needs to see a reality check of what's going on with the pandemic or other viruses, by all means, share this with them. And you know what to do. The best way to keep yourself protected from COVID is put one of those HEPA air purifiers that I have behind me on in your house. And if you're going in a public place, wear a mask. It's easy to do. It's not that hard, and it helps keep you safe. I will see you all again next time for the pandemic update. Until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone, and thanks for watching. Enjoy your Sunday evening.